before you forget, please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, all really important stuff. Let's get on with the goodies. Howdy folks, how you all doing? It's absolutely nailing down outside, so I thought I'd take some time to do a bit of recording for you. So we're kind of looking at a bit of a Hendrixy thing, as you probably guessed, and we're going to be talking about the chords that we're playing and how we're playing lines out of the chords. This kind of relates a little bit to a video I did on harmonizing Hendrix. It was called a little while back, so if you check that out, that's on a kind of similar sort of subject. That was about all the chords in a particular key. This is about a particular set of chords in a key and kind of extending the things that we do over those. So let's go over the progression that I was doing first of all. So we're starting with the G, and I was doing a typical Hendrix G like that, where he gets his thumb over the top there on the root note, and then we've got root 3/5. So you're not playing the A string there, and you're not playing this E string either. They're just kind of muted. So that's the first chord. So you could play the chord like that. It's the same chord. Hendrix chose to play it like that, partly because, see, in a bar chord you've got 6 notes in a bar chord like this, haven't you? But in the chord itself, there's 3 notes. There's the 1, the 3, and the 5. So a lot of those repeated in the bar chord, which kind of clog it up a little bit, right? This is why a lot of jazz guys just play chords as just the notes that they need, and not all these extra notes. It kind of sounds a bit clearer to do it with less notes. You've got all the important notes in there, but also because that's it's easier to solo out of. You don't have to. This is a bit awkward to finger. This is simpler to fingers. So we've got this G chord, right? Then dead simple, we're going to the 4 chord, which is C, because it's the 1, 2, 3, 4th note in the G major scale. So we've got G, C, 5 chord, because it's 5th note in the G major scale. So the next chord is the 2 chord, which is A minor 7 here. Okay, again, a lot of jazz guys do it like this, because what they're doing is they're omitting this note here. You might know A minor 7 as that, right? I'm playing that but without that note. Why? That's the 5. It's the 5th note in the A major scale, but the 5th note in a chord is not massively important. It doesn't add a lot of colour to the chord, so it's quite fine to omit it and not play it at all. So I'm just muting that string. So I've got G, C, D, and then I've got A minor 7. Okay, so how do we play out of these chords? Well, out of the G major chord, what I'm thinking is that this G major chord is, I've got position 2 under my fingers here of the pentatonic scale. I'm sliding up to position 3 like this. Now that's quite a cool thing to do, because you get this quite nice box here, which is really easy to come out with lines using that. So Hendrix might typically have slid from here and done things like. So slowly I'm doing something like, so here, root 2, 3, 5, 6, root, and then, so I'm doing a little double stop on those 2 notes. Well, that note isn't strictly in this pentatonic scale I'm using, but it's okay. It's the 4. It's not too bad. And then, so we can do that line. So I'm hammering on from 5, 5 to 7, 7. Same here. All right, so it's a really cool sort of a Hendrixy sort of a line. So I'm doing that over the G. Then I think that's all I did over the G for the first time. Then when I'm doing the C, C major is the same as A minor, right? In terms of pentatonic. So I'm thinking C major, and I'm sliding up to position 1. So 2 frets goes up to position 1. So I'm going from here. So I'm in really familiar territory here, up to position 1. And then I'm going up to position 2, 3, 4. Right, so I could go up all those positions. I think I went up to 4, something like that. But I'm moving between those positions, basically. Starting off down here. So effectively, I'm down on position 5. Moving into position 1. Then I'm sliding here into position 2. Now I'm seeing position 3. And then position 4. So I'm doing little noodles based around that, and that's what's going through my head. Then when we're on the D chord, it's exactly the same deal as the C chord, but 2 frets higher. Okay. Then we come to the A minor 7 chord. Now I'm kind of thinking, I can't help but think A Dorian there. Now I know Hendrix didn't probably do a lot of A Dorian, but that's kind of what jumps into my head. Right, so you could think A minor pentatonic here if you wanted. That would fit totally well, but I'm just adding in that note and that Dorian note there, which the eagle-eyed amongst you will have spotted is the same as G major. I don't really like referencing it back to G major. I kind of like to think of A Dorian in its own right. I prefer to think of the minor pentatonic scale with added notes in, because what I'm doing there is A minor pentatonic is obviously minor, Dorian is obviously minor, so I'm putting 2 minor things together. It makes a lot more sense than think A Dorian is the same as G major. I don't find that very helpful personally, although a lot of people I know would use that reference. Okay, so you can see the pentatonic and then the minor within it. And then we're back to G major. And then I did some very Hendrixy lines out of position 2. Position 2 over a E major shaped chord sounds really Hendrixy. You know, just textbook Hendrix. So sliding from 3 to 5 here, or whatever. That's very Hendrixy. I'm on 2 and 3 here. Hammer on 4 and 5. Little rake there, look. So I'm seeing this position. Do a bit slower. This position 2 is being right under my fingers. Then the second time through, I didn't really think very Hendrixy. I think I thought G major doing this. So I'm here, I'm just thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then an octave. 6 and an octave again. Okay, so I did something like that over the G chord the second time. Something similar to what I did over this C chord, and the D chord I think was similar. This was similar again. So when it comes back to the G, the last time I'm doing... Then I'm working my way back up to this G after that. Then I'm seeing root to major third. And then I'm just kind of back down that G major scale doing something like... You know, doing little slides and pull-offs, trying not to pick and trying to keep that sustain going. Perhaps a touch more compression would have helped there. So mostly I'm thinking about the chords and the pentatonic position associated with those chords. I came up with a chord progression, but you don't have to use that chord progression. There's tons of different chord progressions you could use. And remember, if you're in G major, you could think of chord progressions obviously that are diatonic to G major. The chords would be G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, and E minor. Those are your chords to choose from. There's also an F sharp minor 7 flat 5 in there, but I probably wouldn't bother with that. So you can play around with those chords and do different lines across those.